What's going on, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of SportsVenting Weekly. As always, I'm the Waz.
And I'm Frustrated Phil.
Who actually isn't too frustrated anymore with the Eagles. How many weeks has it been now since the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
2 months.
2 months. 2 months. Still feeling good?
Haven't had a bad day since.
Haven't come off the high?
No, I'm still
Okay.
high, except for the other night with the Phillies. But we'll get into that later.
Okay, cool. It is Final Four weekend. We're down to Michigan, Loyola, Villanova, and Kansas. Our bet of shoving a donut in your mouth and reciting some type of sentence, paragraph, whatever. It's still on because I have Michigan. You have Villanova.
That's right.
So, what happens if they both lose tonight?
If they have
Coin flip?
Coin flip and
How about a shootout?
We'll see. A
A
shootout.
shootout.
Yeah.
A shootout.
A shootout.
Maybe we'll have a shootout.
We'll
They
do a
decide
shootout.
hockey games and gold medals like that. We'll have a shootout.
A shootout.
All right, so I got Michigan. You have Villanova. I'm actually hoping I lose because I want to see Loyola make it to the final game.
I like to see Villanova versus Loyola and Villanova take it all.
I want to see Sister Jean out there. They interviewed her during the tournament. One of the best things ever in terms of what are you going to give up for Lent? They asked her what she's going to give up for Lent, and she said, I'm giving up losing! Great comment. Love you, Sister Jean. Go Loyola.
I have no thoughts about Sister Jean.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating Passover this weekend.
Well, good Yontif to you and your.
Thank you.
Enjoy that gefilte fish.
Appreciate it.
All right. As far as the men's Final Four, I can only hope that these games tonight live up to the women's games last night.
Last night, 4 number 1 seeds. Mississippi State, Louisville, UConn, and Notre Dame played 2 overtime games. It was thrilling, even though it was women's basketball. Thrilling. I'm sorry.
Stop alienating the women viewers! Knock it off!
All right, yeah, they play very good fundamental basketball. And the game-winning shot for Notre Dame was made by some lady with the longest letters in ever.
Yeah, I think her name was like 22 letters long.
Yeah, it's...
But back to the games. And you talk about fundamentals. That's the game that's the way basketball should be played. Not chucking up threes, throwing down windmill dunks. You saw ball movement. You saw open shots. You saw tight defense. The Mississippi State game was great, but it was totally outdone by Notre Dame UConn.
Yes.
I mean, UConn is down 5 with 30 seconds to go. I'm thinking, this is it. It's over. They tied a game.
Tied a game.
And they have a shot to win it.
Down 5 again in overtime. They come back to tie it again.
And even at the end, when Notre Dame hits the winning shot, a last-second shot from UConn goes off the rim.
Yes. Second straight year that Gino Auriemma comes into the Final Four undefeated and loses the semifinals in OT.
36-0 both years.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I'm not a huge fan of Auriemma, and I think it goes back to psychology. If it's not your team and they keep winning championship after championship after championship, you're not going to like them. But
Correct.
you got to respect the man.
Local boy, Norristown.
Yep. And you got to love what he does for that program.
Yep.
I feel bad. 36-0, 2 years in a row, and you lose in the Final Four in overtime on last-second shots.
That's right.
Horrendous. But we'll see if the men's game lives up to the hype. Now, moving on. It is baseball season. I love it. I love baseball season.
The smell of spring. And then the Phillies open up against the Atlanta Braves, and their starting pitcher is mowing everybody down. 5 1/3 innings. He gets yanked with a 5-0 lead by this guy, Mr. Bodybuilder, Gabe Kapler.
Mr. Buff.
I know that, there's been rumors that you kind of swing both ways. What do you think of his body?
He's got a nice body, but we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And you need some help.
He takes out his starter, Waz, and the bullpen lets up 8 runs in the opener, and they lose 8-5.
Yeah, I mean, Nola goes, he's mowing folks down. The Phils are up 5-0. You take him out, and the bullpen gets shellacked.
Yes.
It's first game of the year. Not a great way to start, but the good news is there's 161 left. Phils won last night. Was it extra innings?
Extra innings
Yep.
for 5-4.
All right.
Yes, sir. Season-saving win.
Game 2. Okay. Speaking of baseball, what do you see for the upcoming year? Let's make the predictions. Who do you got going to the playoffs?
Yes, playoffs. I'm going chalk. Washington. I'm going St. Louis. Although they didn't make it last year. I have the Dodgers, and I also have the wild cards being. I'm going to pick the Mets, and I'm going to pick the Milwaukee Brewers.
You need help. All right, I'm going Washington Nationals. You think I'm picking the St. Louis Cardinals over my Chicago Cubs? You're out of your mind. Washington Nationals, Chicago Cubs. We're going to the LA Dodgers. And you know what? I'll throw a bone to the Cardinals. Have them make the wild card. And who am I going to pick for the other wild card? I'm going Colorado Rockies again.
Colorado Rockies.
All right. AL side, what do you got?
AL. I have Cleveland, the Red Sox, Yankees are going to make the wild card. And in the West, I'm going to have Seattle as a wild card. And I'm going to pick the, let's see, Houston Astros to repeat as division champions.
All right, cool. I'm going Yankees in the East. What a killer lineup, having Judge and Stanton in the lineup at the same time. I'm going Yankees in the East. In the Central, I'm going the Indians. Out West, I'm sticking with the Houston Astros. My two wild cards, I'm going Red Sox. You know what? I'm picking the Seattle Mariners as well.
All right.
I'm hoping big things for Seattle this year. We'll see what happens. World Series, NLCS, ALCS, what do you got?
Yeah. So I am going to pick the LA Dodgers to get back there to face the Boston Red Sox.
Ooh.
Dodgers, Red Sox, and the Red Sox win it all again.
Ooh, another Dodger heartbreak. All right. NLCS. I got the Cubs over the Dodgers. You think I'm picking against the Cubs? You're out of your mind. I got the Cubs going back to the World Series, and I have them playing the Houston Astros.
All right.
I see the Astros going back. Cubs, Astros. Cubs in, let's make it 7 games. Why not?
All right. So they haven't won a World Series in 108 years. They finally do, and you have them winning 2 out of 3 years.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, sure.
The Eagles never won a Super Bowl. You got them going back next year?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, shut up.
We'll see.
Get out of here. All right, moving on. Hockey playoffs. This is the last week of the regular season. Right now, the Flyers are slated to play the Penguins. Not good news for the Flyboys. Oh, here we go again. You know, it is about, 68 in here. I don't really think you kind of need that, but whatever. NHL playoffs. You scared as a Flyers fan playing the Penguins?
Absolutely. 2-time defending Cup champions. I'd like to avoid them in the first round. That would be nice. And possibly play the Capitals.
All right. Well, we'll make our NHL predictions next week when the playoffs start. On to basketball, and
yeah, my eyes.
we got hoodwinked again.
Yeah.
Got hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Everyone's on board, trusting the process. Just like Corleone. Just when I'm out, they pull me back in.
That's right. Markelle Fultz comes back in and injures the franchise player with a fractured orbital bone. You know what? That just sounds painful. That's like a fractured testicle or something.
That would be painful too.
Yeah.
You were just coming up with the zingers today, my man.
Yeah.
Woo! Someone had their Wheaties.
Hey, I got my diabetic orthopedic shoes on again.
There you go. I love it.
Yep.
Which mall are you going to after this? Willow Grove or King of Prussia?
Willow Grove.
There you go.
Closer.
Beautiful. Only 3 floors, really short. That's a good walk for you.
Yeah.
But yes, trusting the process again becomes harder with Embiid out. Does he make it back for the playoffs?
He may miss the first round, and if he does, that could be it for the Sixers because they're going to play the Indiana Pacers in the first round, and that's going to be tough without Joel Embiid. He's out 2 to 4 weeks.
It sucks. If you're a Sixers fan, it sucks.
They've won 9 in a row.
It's
9 in a row.
It's a shame. But we'll get into that, and we'll preview the NBA playoffs as well. Real quick before we go, Steph Curry now. More than likely, he may be out the first round.
That's right. That's going to be tough without him.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to have a tough first round without him.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens when we make our predictions next week for the NHL and NBA playoffs. That's all we have for this week. As always, I'm the Waz.
And I'm Frustrated Phil. Go Nova!
Go Loyola. Love you, Sister Jane. We're out of here.